Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ty and this is Reality Table Talk. I'm here to share my thoughts and opinions on the latest episodes of the reality shows we all love to watch. Now, my thoughts are my thoughts and the reviews I share are from my perspective. But I can guarantee that at least a few of us are thinking the same thing while we're watching these shows. If you are here for the first time, welcome to my channel. If you are a return viewer, thank you so much for joining me again. Y'all, I want to remind you to like, share, and subscribe. And if you did this video, go ahead and like it and give me a thumbs up. I am back today with the new review for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Episode 7. And I apologize for getting this review out to y'all late. Again, life has been lifing. Those who know. And if you got stuff going on in your life, you know how it is. But I appreciate you extending me the grace of getting this out to you late. Now, with that said, go ahead, pull up a seat, join me at the table, and let's get into this review. So in this first scene, we start off with Brit and Mike. And they are at Atlanta Autos shopping for a new vehicle. Now, Brit tells Mike that he promised her that every 2 years she can get a new vehicle. This day, Brit is shopping for a new Porsche. She and Mike and Dane, the auto consultant, are looking over the car. She's behind the wheel, revving up the engine, telling Mike, "Ooh, do you hear the sex behind that engine?" And he says, "Yeah, I hear it, babe." She asks Dane if it's within her price range, and he says yes. And she says, "Ooh, baby, there's just enough room." And she lifts up her leg. Now, girl, Brit, you are not doing anything to deflect from some of these rumors that are out here about you around town, and especially after this opening at Kenya Moore and Hair Spa. Now, on a side note, y'all, I'm gonna say this to Brit baby. Well, the word around town is that you have been saying some disparaging things about Shamia's little girl, Shiloh. And I'm gonna tell you what, if that is the case, I am off the Brit train. Let me off right now. Don't even wait for the next stop, because I do not play that about the kids. Now, y'all know I love me some Shamia, but regardless of whose child it is, the kids are always off limits, point blank, period. I don't play that. I don't care if it's Shamia's kids. I don't care if it's Portia's baby. I don't care if it's Kenya's baby. I don't care if it's Kelly's babies, Angela's babies, Cynthia's baby. And her baby is grown. All the babies are off limits. We do not play that over here. And now I'm not Team Kenya. I'm not Team Twirl. Never have been, probably never will be unless I see something different from Kenya. But Brit, if you said anything about Shamia's babies, especially given the fact that you're trying to have a baby, that you're having talks about having a baby with Mike, and you said something disparaging about anybody's kids, girl, I'm going to say this. Do with you what they will. Moving on. So after the leg lift, Mike tells Brit to put her leg down and tells her that you're doing too much. And in her confessional, she says, if you can't have sex in a car, then you're not supposed to have that car. Girl, please. At a particular age, it's time to tone it down just a little bit. And I'm sorry, sex in a car is not comfortable. It's not cute. It's not sexy. Maybe if you had a van, maybe if you had a big old SUV, but not in this little teeny tiny Porsche, girl, please. In this next scene, Angela is setting up outside for her guest, Miss Drew, Drop It with Drew Sidora. And I must say, I do give Drew a hard time, but here in this scene, she is looking great. I love her outfit. I love the print. I love the color. I love the top and the skirt. And I love that little bag that you carrying, girl. That is so super cute. I love the glasses. I love the whole look. Drew, you did it in this scene. Now outside, they're getting ready to sit and have some drinks. And Angela says, "Now, Drew, I talked to Marcus Marcus Jordan, Michael Jordan's son, and he confirmed that Drew is of no relation to that Jordan lineage. And Drew says, "Oh, I was just joking." Now, in the last episode, Drew, when the girls were sitting outside having drinks, she claimed to be a cousin of Michael Jordan. Well, that lie has been shut down, but Drew tried to cover it up and say it was a joke. Girl, what kind of a joke? What kind of a joke? I don't know about y'all's humor. Y'all have said a lot of just lies under the guise of it being a joke. Y'all need to stop with that and get it together. And especially you, Drew, when you know you have a history of lying on this show. Girl, stop. Drew talking about, maybe I was manifesting it. How you gonna manifest a family member? Ciao, good night, and goodbye. They get to chatting about the peace brunch, and Drew was like, "Well, how did you like it?" And she was like, girl, that food was halfway good." And Drew was like, "Halfway good?" And Angela says, "Girl, them grits needed some more cooking." The shade, Angela, the shade. Angela's sitting out there, sweaty, looking all hot like she needed her fan, being shady. Over at Kelly's house, she and her sister Kamaya are setting up brunch for some of her guests. And the first to arrive is Miss Cynthia, what else is going on, Bailey. And Cynthia, this woman travels all around. So I guess she's back from wherever she's been traveling to, honey. She missed the brunch last week. And I don't blame her for missing it, but she missed the brunch last week, but she's back for brunch today. So they get talking about dating, and Cynthia says the men her age want the younger girls, but the younger guys are looking for the TTs, the aunties. Well, send them my way, because I'm over the men in my age bracket as well. Send the youngins up right up over here. Maybe they got a little bit more sense than the men in my age group. Just saying. So Cynthia says that after her 2 marriages, she's not really looking for another marriage or something too serious. So in her confessional, she gets talking about what she would want out of a man. Not too much, not too much. She just wants them to be financially secure, financially stable. She wants them to look good. She wants them to smell good. No bad hygiene. She wants them to not smoke. She wants them to be able to do backflips in the bed. She wants them to be able to jump through hoops. She wants them to be able to do all the things. She wants them to cook. She wants them to clean. She wants them to wash her car. She wants them to do her laundry. You know, just a little bit, not too much. And then she says, "Is that too much?" My girl, Cynthia. One thing Cynthia's gonna do is Cynthia. Okay. Next to arrive is Portia and her hips. Go on, hippie Portia. I love them. Small little waist, nice little hips. Portia got a nice body, and I'm gonna tell you this. In this scene, well, not just this scene, all season, all 6, 7 episodes, Portia has been killing it with the fit game. I love what she's wearing. I love the pantsuit and the halter top and the print and the hair. Go Naked is doing it up over there. I need to give me some of that. But she is looking fabulous. Go ahead, Portia. Go ahead, P. Willie. Not too long after Portia arrives, my favorite, Shamia, sashays in with her furry boots, and she's killing the game as well. I love the hair. I love the jacket. Shamia, girl, you are rocking it. You are killing it. She and Kelly kind of do a little dance behind the little glass door, and I'm digging it. Shamia just brings the fun. She brings the party, y'all. Now, Portia sees Kelly's dog, Cha-Cha, and she's like, what is that? Y'all, Cha-Cha is dyed all different types of colors. She's got a print on her. She's got little jewels on her. And in Kelly's confessional, she says that Cha-Cha got stolen and she was devastated. They put a reward out for Cha-Cha and they found her on Craigslist. So after they got Cha-Cha back, Kelly was like, not again, not ever again. Is this going to happen? So she has dyed Cha-Cha, so Cha-Cha stands out. So if anybody wants to come and try to snatch her up again, she'll be extremely, extremely identifiable. Now, just in case y'all were wondering, Kelly tells us in her confessional that Cha-Cha's colors are vegan and animal cruelty free. Meanwhile, she's sitting up there rocking a white fur. Is that also vegan, Kelly? Is that also animal cruelty free? And she just laughs and gives us a smirk. That says it all. So Shamia's popping bottles and Portia's asking about the peace brunch and how that went. And the ladies are telling her it went terribly. And Kelly says that, Team Twirl was there with Miss Angela, LaToya Jackson, Oakley, and Drop It by Drew. And Brit kind of felt like she was put off because the energy just wasn't right when they talked about speaking with Kenya before they spoke with Brit about how she felt. There was no peace. Peace probably came after the brunch once everybody was gone. Back at Atlanta Auto, Mike and Brit are still looking at cars. And I thought this was odd and awkward, but Mike asked Brit about the peace brunch and how that went. And Brit says it was horrible because Angela was grilling her about her saying that she was under investigation for her insurance license. So in Brit's confessional, she says that this lady was calling her a whore, talking about Kenya, calling her a whore, just making disparaging remarks about her, and that, yeah, she is indeed under investigation with her insurance company. Now, she's telling Mike that there's a lot of red tape when it comes to being an insurance agent, and that the agency wants her to have a squeaky clean profile, basically, because she's dealing with the public. Brit says that she thought Angela was a girl's girl, but after this peace brunch, her guard is completely up, and she's got a brick wall up between she and Angela. And then in the confessional, she says, what if I brought up the things that I heard about Angela? How was she like that? So the producers are asking Brit, well, what did you hear about Angela? Well, so she talks about the break baby that Charles had when he and Angela were separated. So Brit is like, Angela needs to be concerned about what's going on with Charles and stop worrying about what's going on with me. These rumors are out there and they don't just fall off the sky. Brit, girl, this isn't aging well. This is not aging well for you at all. You also need to kind of be careful about what's out there about you. And if you were that concerned about your image in this insurance company, you may have wanted to scrub the internet a little bit more to make sure that there weren't things floating out here around about you and your kind of sordid past. I'm just saying. Back at Angela's, she's still talking with Drew about this peace brunch, and she thought that everybody was coming there in peace, but Brit came there on some rah-rah stuff. She was on one. She says that she was ready to receive Brit in peace, but that was not the energy that Brit was bringing. So she says that she hopes that she's going to see some growth out of Brit and a little bit of humility. She wants Brit to be a little bit more humble. So Drew says, speaking of Brit, I got a text from her and she's wanting to meet up for lunch and to kind of talk things through because she also has some energy for Drew at this peace brunch. And Drew does an imitation of Brit. It was almost spot on. It was almost spot on, Drew. Your acting skills are coming out here. And Drew, girl, I just don't know what to say about you. There's something about you that irks my soul, but you are funny here. Angela asked Drew if Ralph is at the house. She says, yes, it's Ralph's weekend, so I had to leave. But this whole leaving every other weekend is not working out for her. And their next court hearing is coming up very soon. So her main purpose or her main goal for this court hearing is to keep these documents sealed. There's something that Drew does not want to be out there. I know Ralph has done a lot of dirt, but I get the feeling that there's some dirt that Drew has also been involved in that she does not want us to know about. She says it's about the kids, maybe finding out some stuff about mommy and daddy through the internet. But again, I feel like maybe Drew is trying to hide some of her own dirty laundry that has nothing to do with Ralph. Drew starts talking about this Dennis and Portia and Drew triangle situation again, and I am exhausted. I am tired. Drew says it's funny because Dennis had a conversation with Ralph, and Ralph said that he was cool with them working together. Dennis also had a conversation with Portia, and Portia said that she was cool with them working together, but now their stories have changed. From what I can tell here, Portia has never really been like a top dog fan of y'all working together. I don't think she minded it, like she wasn't going to discourage it, but the filming thing that she told both you and Dennis she was not cool with, that's what her issue is. And Drew just does not seem to get it. Back at Kelly's house, Cynthia is asking Portia about the whole Dennis Drew situation. And Portia says, you know what, I've moved on from it. I'm very much not old Portia anymore. I've moved on. So Cynthia says, oh, so you two are cool. And Portia says, you know what, Cynthia, you're using some very beautiful adjectives. We are not cool. Portia believes that Drew does not care about the business part of their relationship or the personal part of their relationship. So she's over it. She's done. And Cynthia says in her confessional, I know Portia says she doesn't care about Drew, but Portia very much cares about Drew. Cynthia, I'm gonna have to disagree with you here, chick. I don't think Portia gives a damn about Drew anymore. Maybe at one point, but since Drew has crossed his line, I really am taking Portia's word that she is over Drew. Portia says that she just wants to move on. She's ready to have some fun and cut loose. Her birthday is coming up and she's planned this Cowboy Carter themed type of birthday celebration for herself, but it's going to take place in Nashville. And all of the ladies are invited, including some of her other friends that are not currently on the show, Monietta, a couple of other ladies, but Drew is definitely not invited. Now, Portia invited all the ladies through a Zoom call. And Angela tells Portia, you know, I'm gonna miss my Chicago homie. Is Drew invited? And Portia says, Angela, your call is the only one that has gone silent. So I take that as a big N-O. That is a no. Angela, she interpreted it how she wanted to interpret it. Now, Portia says in her confessional that she's ready to move on and have peace with everybody, but she is not ready to be besties with Drew. And they have mutual friends throughout Atlanta. So they'll see each other around town and they'll be cool. But for her birthday, she only wants people around her that are really there to celebrate her, that are not about the mess and the drama. And, you know, her real friends, her ride or die, and some of these cast members. I don't know if they're real friends or not, but she just wants good energy. She does not want Drew there, point blank, period. Back at Angela's house, Angela takes it upon herself to invite Drew to Portia's birthday trip to Nashville. She says, Drew, I really want you to accept my invitation. And Angela, how dare you? How dare you? It's not your place. This is not your birthday. You are invited. Portia did not extend a +1 to you. And if she did, I highly doubt it would have been Drew. So you just being messy as all hell. It's almost kind of like you thrive off the drama. As much as you were complaining about the ladies at this peace brunch, you are inviting drama to Nashville. And I hope it bites you in the ass. And it will. Now, Drew says as much as the energy has been off between she and Portia, she feels like the invitation would need to come from Portia. Flash back over to Kelly's house and Portia's telling the girls that Drew is very much a liar. Flash over to Atlanta Autos. Brit says as far as the trip is concerned, she is very much about peace and she feels like the trip will be a good, peaceful trip. Flash back over to Angela's. Drew says that if Portia is okay with it, then she will come to Nashville for Angela. And Angela says she's going to work on Portia. Flashback to Portia. Portia says that she is done with Drew for the umpteenth time, y'all. Portia is done with Drew. When will Angela get it? When will she get the hint? It's not even a hint. It's been spelled right out for her. N-O. That's no. Now, Portia says Drew is out of sight, out of mind. Angela says, telling Drew, come on, Drew, let's go. And Drew says, well, we'll see. We'll see. Drew, you already know the vibes. Girl, just sit this one out. Forget all of Angela's begging. Go with your gut instinct. You already got enough going on. Sit this trip out. Now, in these intermission scenes, we see Kelly trying to show Chloe how to drive. And child, it's the blind leading the blind here. They about to wreck this BMW in this parking lot. Shamia's in the studio working with B Flat on T-shirt. I cannot wait, Shamia. I cannot wait for that single to drop, and I cannot wait for your album to drop. Angela's at home with her kids, making them some French fries, and she asks her son, how's my face doing? And her son says, I already told you about that. In Angela's confessional, she says that after she got her nose job, her nose was a little bit too pinched. So she was advised to get Botox to fill it back out and puff it back out. And puff it out it did. It puffed out her nose and her entire face. Her son said, you look like Yoshi from Super Mario. Not Yoshi, child. Not Yoshi. Now, her son seems to be a little bit more shadier than she is even. Cynthia and Portia are talking about this Nashville trip. Cynthia's talking about ordering her cowboy hat. And again, Portia, you and these looks, you are killing it, baby. You are killing it. I love this fit. The blue and the white and the fabric and the hair. Portia P is on it. Cynthia and Portia are talking about this divorce from Simon. Cynthia makes a little joke talking about, it was about being his peace. Now it's about give me some peace. Drew and Brit finally meet up for dinner, and Drew's look is very, very nice in this scene. Now, she and Brit sit down, they get ready to order a drink, and they realize they have something in common. They both love a lemon drop. Drew likes hers with tequila. Brit likes hers with vodka. Now they start talking about this peace brunch, and Brit says that she felt put off by Drew because Drew was team twirl. In the confessional, Brit says that, she's the one that just had all these disparaging rumors put out there all around Atlanta about her past. So where was her support? Drew says that Brit came in hot, talking about how she was still going to be there, but Kenya's no longer there. So read the room. Drew says that the way Brit came into the brunch, she came in hot, and it felt like she was celebrating the fact that Kenya was no longer going to be on the show. So Drew just really wants to understand where Brit is coming from. And Brit says, you know what? I'm an open book. Ask me anything you want. Girl, I think you're going to regret that here in just a second, because Drew is about to ask you whether or not you sold the cat. In Drew's confessional, she says that she just wants real answers about Brit's past. Well, Drew, I want some real answers about what's going on with you and Ralph and this whole divorce and why you want those records sealed. Give us some answers about that. But now the way that she asked Brit this question, the question itself to me is very offensive. And Brit, I want to say she handled herself well in this scene, because had it been me, I probably would have flew across this table and threw my drink or something at Drew. So Brit says that she has not, very calmly. So then Drew asks, well, have you ever done corn with a P? And Brit, Brit starts coughing like she's got a cobweb caught up in her throat when she's trying to answer this question. So she's like, oh no, I can't get it out. And then she says, no, I never have. I've done webcam. And Drew's like, oh, Drew is so fake and phony. She's like, oh. And Brit is like, yeah, I've done webcam before with my girlfriend. Me and my homegirl were just sitting around naked on webcam, talking about regular stuff, and she made some decent money from it. Now, Brit does clarify and says that she did it for a week in her 20s, and that was it. but she's not done anything explicit on camera. There's been no kind of intercourse or anything like that. She says that for women to shame me is crazy because y'all probably done a whole lot worse than what I did. And Brit, I do have to say, I like your confessional look here. I love the hair. The hair is gorgeous. So now Brit questions something that Drew said last episode at the little get together at Shamia's house. Drew threw something out there about one of the guys that was in one of the photos displayed on one of the posted boards at Kenya's opening. Drew said that this guy reached out to her. And the girls were asking, well, who is it? Who is it? And Drew said, well, I don't want to say because I can't really confirm. So Brit is asking Drew about this here. And Drew says that she may have recognized one of the dudes. So Brit is like, well, you recognize that? Does that mean that you were slobbing on the knob a little bit? And Drew says, no, I just like to joke. Now, one thing about you ladies this season, y'all are getting on my nerves with throwing these accusations out there or hinting that you know something about somebody and then trying to cover it up and say that it's a joke. Y'all need to come with some different type of humor or something because these jokes are not landing. So Brit asked Drew to put herself in Brit's shoes. She's just had a bunch of disparaging things put out there about her character. She was distraught. She was in bed for 3 days. So she's like, can you imagine what that feels like? And Drew takes the opportunity to kind of make it about herself. And she's like, I can relate. I do understand what you're going through. I've been the same way going through this divorce from Wreck-It Ralph. So Drew says that she can understand that there have been things put out there in the blogs about her and her character and her marriage. So she understands where Brit is coming from. So she's just really wanting to move past what happened with them at the brunch. Brit grabs Drew's hand and says, I love your energy so we can be cool. And Drew says that she's about healing and peace. She wants to move forward with healing and peace because that's just her. So Brit says, well, can you move forward with Portia? Drew says, take a sip, girl. Yeah, I think I'm about to do that right about now too. Let me take a sip on this one. Swirl it around. So in this next scene, it is court date for Drew. We see Ralph and his cousin leaving the house, headed on to the courthouse. Ralph in his suit, always ready for a photo op, always ready to film and be on camera. Drew and her crew, which includes her sister Allison, hop into their car. Drew calls her mom to get some emotional support to get ready to walk into this courthouse and deal with Wreck-It. Now, the goal is to get Ralph out the house, to get him to submit his financial documents, everything other than what he submitted, his drawings from the 3rd grade, his newspaper clippings from 1983, his grocery list, and to keep the divorce records sealed. Ralph is aware that Drew is trying to get him out the house. So he's telling his cousin that he feels like that is Drew's #1 priority, which in reality, it is not. The cousin says, the house that you paid for, they're trying to kick you out the house that you paid for. And Ralph is like, yeah, the crib that I paid for. Again, Ralph, where are the financial documents? Where are they? You're paying all the bills, you say. You bought the house, you say. So what's up with the financials? Now, Drew's mom is telling her to stay faithful and just to know that God has got her. Now, the producers are asking Drew in her confessional, what is so damaging in these court documents that you're trying to keep them sealed? And Drew says that it's more damaging for Ralph than it is for her. But Drew, you're not answering the question. The producers asked you what's in the documents about you that you're trying to keep sealed. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, deceitful Drew. Now, today, Ralph actually has counsel, so he will not be representing himself. He came to court prepared. So when they arrive to the courthouse, Drew and her sister meet with her counsel. Drew's counsel says that this is Ralph's 3rd attorney. And Drew says, you know, the old attorneys were willing to work with us and come up with something that was beneficial for both of us. But this new attorney, she's not too sure about. And this new attorney seems to be a pit bull. So Ralph is meeting with his counsel, and his attorney says, oh, this is a money grab. This is a money grab. We got this. Come on, let's go in this courtroom. So they all go in the courtroom. And 20 minutes later, everybody comes out of the courtroom. Ralph is happy as can be. And in Drew's confessional, she says that the court documents will be unsealed. Ralph can remain in the house. And Ralph still has not submitted any of his financial documents. So Drew at this point is devastated. Drew says she does not know why Ralph was wanting to have these court documents unsealed, because now it's all going to be out here on the internet for her kids to see. Ralph looks like he's ready to do backflips. He's shouting and jumping up and down and dancing that he gets to stay in his basement. Lord have mercy. His basement that he shot his little Cribs episode in. He gets to stay in his man cave downstairs. Ralph is doing his little Wreck-It Ralph shuffle. I don't have to leave. I don't have to leave. Yes, Ralph, you can reside in the basement. Congratulations. So Drew and her crew are pulling away from the courthouse. They see Ralph and his cousin standing outside on the lawn. And I guess he's shouting something to her through the car window. And Drew was like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot for the BS that you pulled off in there. And then she rolls up her window and they drive off. And Drew starts crying, and she's just absolutely devastated now that all this information is going to be out here for everybody to see. Back in Ralph's car, he says that he wanted these documents unsealed because he wants transparency about everything that's going on. And he wants the playing field to be level and equal. Now, y'all, it's Nashville trip day. All the ladies are headed to the airport. The titty twins, Brit and Kelly, got their titties back out. Hey, it's time to party, time to celebrate. Portia's hips are hipping, and they all get to the airport with the exception of Angela. Cynthia arrives, and she is Cynthia-ing. Kelly says, what happens on a girls' trip stays with the girls' trip. Cynthia says, what happens on the girls' trip does not stay in the girls' trip. This is not Vegas, baby. And as we've seen in prior seasons, Cynthia knows what she's talking about. She's 1,000% correct. Shout out to Bolo and him. Portia says that she feels great about this trip because she handpicked everybody that's going to be on the trip. So they all get on the plane and the plane takes off. They land in Nashville. Portia's twerking and twirling, excited to get this birthday trip started. They get in the Sprinter van, and Britt says, I think we're missing somebody. Where's Angela? So then we see Angela arrive to the airport in her granny sandals. She said that traffic was bad, so she ended up missing her flight. But she's cool because she and her best friend, her little personal fan, are going to sit there and wait for the next flight. Kelly says that Angela knew it was going to be hot in Nashville, and she forgot her fan. So she missed her flight because she had to run back home and get her fan. Now, y'all, I'm in perimenopause, as I've mentioned in my previous reviews. These ladies are not too far off from being that age where they can go into perimenopause at any moment. So although they are joking about Angela and her fan, I guarantee you in a few years, they will certainly understand Angela's plight. So in this Sprinter van, the girls are talking about some of the work that they want to have done to their bodies. Shamia says that she wants her back fat gone and her skin to be back right. Portia says that she ain't worried about changing nothing on her body right now. She got her girls, Coco and Chanel. They used to be called Coco and Chanel, and now they're called Ben and Jerry's, or Ben and Barry's, or Barry and Larry. Girl, they call something, but they're no longer Coco and Chanel. The ladies arrive to the house in Nashville, and they are greeted by Abel, a handsome, young, maybe spicy white, Who knows? He's standing up there with some drinks ready to help the ladies get the party started. Chef Devin is at the house, chefing it up. He done laid out a nice little Nashville barbecue spread for the ladies, ribs and all the fixings. Got me up here talking with an accent. Ribs and all the fixings, y'all. All the fixings for Nashville, y'all. We walk through the house and check out all the rooms. Portia gets the grand master suite, of course. It's her birthday. She's walking the ladies to show them all the other rooms, and they walk past the basement. Portia opens up the basement and she says, Drew, you down there? Y'all, Portia's gone Portia no matter what state she's in, no matter what country she's in. We go check out Shamia's room, my favorite. And she gets the next best room in the house. Now, there's some other rooms with like multiple beds. There's a room with some bunk beds in it. Nobody wants that room. So everybody gets all settled into whatever room they're going to sleep in. And they all go downstairs and sit at the table to eat. Now, y'all, if there's one thing Portia knows how to do is eat. Portia and Candy got that in common. These girls know how to eat. So now they're eating and Kelly says, well, what is it like having your birthday this year, planning it a little bit different now that you and Simon are getting divorced? And Portia says, it's different because the last 3 years we've traveled. We've been together for my birthday. His birthday is June 2nd. Mine is June 22nd. So we've always done something together. But this year I just needed to be around my girls and be supported. And Cynthia says, now you can't invite everybody to the girls' trip. It's not always going to be love and peace and kindness and support. Angela, Drew, just saying. So now they get to talking about Angela and how she likes to switch sides, which we've seen. 1 minute she's telling Brit, I got your back. The next minute she's telling Kenya, I got your back. Well, as they're chit-chatting about this, guess who should arrive? Mother Angela and her granny sandals. Angela says when she walked in the room, she could tell that the ladies were talking about her. So the ladies are asking her what happened. And she says she missed her flight. She says that her bag busted and she just had a terrible morning. So Portia says, well, I appreciate everything that you went through to be here. And I'm just glad that you made it. I'm glad that you're here. We'll see how long that's going to last because Portia says that she's ready to turn up and have a good time. Angela says, well, speaking of having a good time, I would like for Drew to come. Portia's like, how you going to like for Drew to come on my birthday trip? So the other ladies are like, well, is she coming? And Angela says, well, I anticipate seeing Drew. Are you crazy? You are crazy. But you and your crazy would have had to get the hell up out of that house. Because how dare you? You definitely overstepped your boundaries here. Again, you were invited as a guest. You were not extended a +1. So you definitely stepped out of your lane on this one. And whatever you gonna get, you just gonna get. Now, P. Willie, I gotta give it up to you here because you could have absolutely flipped out and lost your ish at this table. But you kept it P. You kept it cool. You didn't come right out and say, oh no, you can pack your bags and you might as well go ahead and call your little girlfriend and tell her not to even show up because you ain't staying. You didn't do none of that. You were gracious. And, you said that you weren't going to kick a dog when she was down. So you weren't going to be mean to her. You were going to let her go ahead and come. So I got to give it up to you there, Portia. In Portia's confessional, though, she says Angela hadn't lost her damn mind. And I must agree 1000%. I don't know how many brain cells Angela's got in this moment. I don't know if the menopause is eating them all up, if the hot flashes done burnt them all up. She appears to have lost a little bit of her damn mind. So now Kelly's sitting at the table quiet. And they like, Kelly, what you doing, girl? You ain't saying much. And she was checking on her phone for her stylist. Her stylist is meeting her there in Nashville to get her look together. Angela says, so you did a little shopping when I saw you in the mall this weekend. So in their confessionals, it says that she and Kelly saw Angela in Neiman Marcus that Saturday with her hair all messed up, with her granny glasses on. And they were like, Angela, is that you, girl? What you doing? And Angela went and hid in a clothes rack. She was not trying to be seen. Angela says that she spoke to the girls first and that she was there with open arms, like, hey girls, what's going on? Now, Brit says that maybe Angela was trying to hide a little something. Yeah, like that botched Botox job to her nose and her face with her face all blown up. Now, Brit says that this was the first time that she had seen Angela since the peace brunch when she ran into her at the mall. Brit came over and gave Angela a hug. Angela said it was all good vibes and it was all cool. So they kind of smoothed things over a little bit at that point. Angela says that she was showing him love, and Brit is questioning, was that authentic or was that fake? And Angela says, if I'm showing you love, I'm being real, I'm showing you love. And Brit says, well, that's fair. So they're done with this lunch. Everybody gets ready to get glammed up to go out on a night on the town in Nashville. They show Angela the house, and so Portia had an affirmation pillow in her room. Y'all didn't see what it said, but Portia and Angela start playing tug of war with this pillow, right? So that's going to come up a little bit later. But then we go to Brit and Kelly. Oh, Brit, just when I thought we were making some progress here. She says that she brought some locks just in case these girls want to get funny. Kelly says that she brought sage. And I think that's probably the better route to go, Brit. Brit, leave them locks at the house, please. And just go ahead and grab you some sage. Grab some of Kelly's sage and y'all be good. Angela calls Charles and says that she made it to the house. And she's telling him about the chef. And he's like, what? What? Charles is not trying to be bothered with Angela in any kind of way. Charles is very shady towards Angela, and I love it. I love it. He calls Gerald and asks him what he's doing, and he is excited because he went to Target. He went to Target, and he says they really stepped it up. Target is nice. That's a man after my own heart. I love me some Target too. And I was going there up until this new administration took place, and y'all know about that. I ain't been there in a few months. I can't lie and say I don't miss it though. Brit is on the phone with Mike, telling him that Drew is coming, even though she wasn't invited. Mike is like, okay, being Mike, his regular old dull self, Mr. Personality. Angela calls Drew and says, everybody is aware that you're coming and the vibe is good. So when are you going to be here? Drew says she doesn't know when she's going to get there because she had a court date with Ralph. And right now she's trying to protect her peace. So Angela says, I will make sure that there's peace. I'll protect it when you get here. Angela, you are the last person that can be protecting anybody. What you going to do is probably stir up a whole lot more mess. I hope you are not securing Drew's peace with that same wig glue that you used to secure that wig at Shamia's birthday party. Kelly's stylist Paris has arrived, and I am loving his vibe. And he's getting the girls all ready. He's tucking in the twins' titties and making sure ain't nothing popping out, making sure ain't no nipples being exposed. And Kelly says that because Brit has gone through such a hard time, with the whole Kenya Moore thing and the investigation behind her license and all of that, Brit did not have glam. And so she extended Paris's services to her to help her get ready for the night. Kelly, again, like I said in my last review, Kelly seems like she is a really good friend. She is to Brit what Shamia is to Portia. So now all the ladies are dolled up. Portia's looking like Beyonce, okay? Portia's looking snatched. She's looking flawless. Angela comes stumbling out, and I don't know if it's like some bathing. I don't know what the hell this lady got on. Her ass is out, but it should not be. She got on some kind of cowboy boots, but it ain't really going with what she's wearing. I don't know. Angela's day started off stressed and crazy, and now she's stepping out looking stressed and crazier. So now all the ladies have met up with the rest of Portia's guests. Her sister Lauren, her friend Amy. And you know what? I recognize Amy. She's got two beautiful little twin girls and a little boy, and they have their own separate YouTube channel. That's where I know her from. Amy is gorgeous. She's a beautiful chocolate, just beautiful, flawless skin, and her kids, oh, they're super adorable. Monietta is there, and one of other Portia's friends are there. So anyway, they all meet up and they head to this restaurant. Y'all, before they get to this venue, they are partying it up. They are getting turned up in this Sprinter van. They are ready to party. They're twerking, they're motorboating each other's titties, like they're having drinks. So by the time they get out this Sprinter van and get to this venue, they are ready to ride the bull. There's a mechanical bull there, and yes, all of the ladies will hop on it. First up is Portia. She lasted 7 seconds. Next up is Brit. She lasted all of 5 seconds, y'all. Next up is Kelly, and homegirl did her thing. She lasted 49 seconds on this bull, y'all. She was riding it. She said she'd been practicing, and well, the practice paid off. Lastly, but not least, we see Shamia, my favorite, in her leather skirt and all, putting something like in between her legs so we can't see her panties, so we can't see up her skirt. This girl, when she says she can do a lot of things, she lasted a full 51 seconds, almost a minute on this bull, bucking her, hat falling off. But my girl did it. She said she told y'all she can do a lot of things. And well, she proved it right here. After the bull riding, the ladies go sit down and they start to order some food. Monietta asked, wait, where's Drew? So flash to Drew in Atlanta at the club with her sister. She and Allison are celebrating the fact that she was offered a record deal with Crew Music. Congratulations, Drew. You know what? The album is fire. Again, as I stated in my last review, the song that you got with Big Please, I got 5 on it. That's my ish. I love it. So congratulations, sincerely. Congratulations, Drew, to you and your success. So now Drew is on a FaceTime call with her Lord and Savior, her angel in disguise, her bro, Dennis. Dennis sent her a bottle to congratulate her on the offer. So she says that after the court date with Ralph, she just really needed a night out to unwind, celebrate, chill. So that's what she's doing here. And best stay in Atlanta, Drew, if you want to maintain that peace and that good vibe. Don't come to Nashville, because I don't think you're going to like what's waiting there for you. Just take it from Angela. Speaking of, back at the venue, Portia informs Monietta that Drew was not invited. However, Miss LaToya Jackson invited Drew on the trip. LaToya says, well, the energy that you gave was that it was cool. Portia says, well, I feel like you pressured me. Now, I didn't see a whole lot of pressure, but I did see Portia trying to be graceful when she got the news. But now Angela comes back and says, oh, so now you're bullying me. And baby, that was the wrong word. That was the wrong term to use with Portia. This trip, on her birthday trip, at this venue, after y'all didn't have some drinks, already knowing that Portia felt the way about Drew, and that Portia did not extend the invite to Drew. To call Portia a bully? Wrong road, Angela. Wrong road, wrong road. Now, Portia says that Angela forced Drew on her birthday trip, but she wasn't going to be a mean girl to Drew. And as a matter of fact, she was gracious enough to give her not 1, but 2 beds. Flash back to the bedroom with the bunk beds. You know what? For Portia and Drew, that was Portia being gracious. I can't take that away from her. Angela says, I thought the point of this trip was to kind of mend fences. And Portia's like, nah, bitch, the point of this trip was to celebrate me and my birthday. And Angela says, well, I just thought we could take the opportunity. And everybody is like, nah, this is not the trip. This is not the time for you to take the opportunity to try to play peacemaker. Because number 1, you are not a peacemaker. You are a shit stirrer. You just stir up the drama. And number 2, This is a birthday trip. Hello, ain't nobody trying to worry about sorting out any drama. In Portia's confessional, she says that she thought Angela was demure. But she says, no, Angela is demanding. Angela is stressful. So at the venue, Portia says, what kind of glue you got holding down that wig? Because basically, chick, you done lost your mind. Now, Portia addresses Angela as sweetie in a demeaning kind of a manner. And Angela says, no, you're not about to talk to me like I'm 5 years old. And Portia says, no, I'm talking to you like you, whatever age that you are, like you 65. Now, Portia says, now you got everybody at the table asking about Drew. And now everybody done forgot that it's my birthday. And Portia, I can guarantee you, ain't nobody forgot it's your birthday. You done reminded everybody at this table that it's your birthday. So ain't nobody forgot. So Angela says, well, you should have said on the Zoom call that you didn't want her here. Angela, in a roundabout way, she did say no. Where were you at? Were you present on the Zoom call? Now, in Angela's confessional, she says that Portia's bucking up and getting all bold because she got her little friends there. But Angela says that she wears a size 12 shoe, a size 12 granny sandal, and that she can stand on her own too. Yes, she can. You should be able to. With size 12 feet and granny sandals, you shouldn't have a problem standing up on your own too. Now, Portia's friend is like, well, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. And so Portia says that basically Drew has been doing some things that, she's not cool with. Portia's like, Drew and whoever got something going on or whatever, that's none of my business. So then Portia's sister says, no, not whoever, Dennis. And then Portia's friend says that Drew has slobbed on some knob. Everybody at the table is like, oh my God, what? Oh, nah. And now Brit says, wow, that's a little bit too much. And I'm sure in this moment, Brit is having flashbacks to what just happened with her. Portia says that fellatio is Dennis's thing. So he keeps his body count even. Portia says, not low. He keeps it even by just receiving fellatio from women. She'll ask, like, did you do something with her? And Dennis will be like, no, she just gave me head. So somebody at the table says, oh, I hope that's not true, Portia. And that's the end of the episode. Y'all, this trip to Nashville is turning out to be the beginnings of some major drama. And Drew hasn't even gotten there yet. So next week, we shall see how this all turns out. Will Angela regret inviting Drew? And will Drew regret coming? Y'all, comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Let me know if you thought Angela was in the wrong by inviting Drew, and if Drew was going to be in the wrong by coming. As always, y'all, thank you so much for watching. Again, make sure that you comment down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And with that, y'all, stay safe, stay blessed, and don't forget to tell someone that you love them today. Love y'all. Peace.